Before we drift into the quiet night sky together, if you find comfort in these gentle cosmic journeys, I invite you softly and without any rush to subscribe so you can return to this peaceful space. Whenever the world feels too loud, your support helps keep these starlit paths open for nights when you need rest the most. Now, let us begin. Take a slow breath in, just enough to feel your chest rise, like a small wave sliding toward shore, and exhale, letting your body sink a little deeper into wherever you are resting. Tonight, we begin our journey, not with urgency or intention, but with softness, the way twilight fades into darkness, without anyone noticing the exact moment it happens. If you're lying down, let the weight of the blanket settle gently over you. If you're sitting, let your body lean into whatever is holding you, as though the universe itself has cupped its hands beneath your shoulders. Outside your window, or in the quiet landscape of your imagination, the night sky is opening, not suddenly, but like a curtain of velvet, lifting to reveal points of light that have waited patiently all day for darkness to arrive. Some of these stars are farther than memory. Some are closer than we realize. And tonight, we drift toward the ones nearest to us, the closest stars beyond our sun. Not to study them, not to understand them, but to let their calm, ancient glow guide us gently toward rest. There is no pace you must match, no thought you must hold on to, just the slow unfolding of the cosmos around you. Take another breath. Let it be softer than the last. Let it move through you like a warm breeze, passing through a quiet field at dusk as we drift upward into this calm, star-filled darkness. Imagine the world below you, growing still, its noise fading, its edges softening, its weight dissolving. Above you, the sky deepens into a rich, endless indigo. Stars shimmer like tiny fragments of memory, scattered across a vast, silent canvas. And among them, just beyond the reach of the sun's warm touch, are the stars we will visit tonight. You do not need to picture them yet. You do not need to know their names. All you need to know is that they have been waiting for billions of years, glowing quietly, patiently, like lanterns along a path. You are finally ready to walk. Let your breath slow again. Let your shoulders release. Let your jaw unclench. The way a star loosens its light into the open dark. This moment, here, now, is the beginning of your journey. A gentle departure from the thoughts of the day. A soft arrival into the embrace of the cosmos. Tonight, you drift not as an observer, but as a traveler, a quiet presence carried effortlessly through the night sky. And as we move toward the stars nearest our sun, let every exhale take you one step deeper into stillness. Welcome, dear traveler, to the beginning of our journey among the closest stars. Chapter 1: Our Sun and the Local Stellar Neighborhood. As our journey begins, we start not in the distant dark, but right here, with the familiar glow that has warmed our world since long before any human opened their eyes to see it. Our sun, a soft, golden hearth, floating in the quiet black, a warm lantern suspended in the void, breathing out light in all directions, filling the solar system with its gentle fire. Though we often imagine the sun as something fierce or overwhelming, tonight we meet it as it truly is, from afar. Calm, steady, patient, a warm pulse glowing in a sea of silence. If you let yourself imagine it, you may feel as though you're drifting just outside the orbit of Earth, watching the sun from a peaceful distance. Its surface doesn't roar here. It shimmers, as if covered with slowly shifting threads of light, woven by time itself. Now, picture yourself beginning to drift outward, a slow glide, a gentle unmooring, as the sun becomes smaller, yet never harsh, never demanding your attention. One by one, the planets of our solar system pass by like quiet travelers, moving along their ancient paths. Mercury, a small stone warmed by the sun's breath, slips beneath you in silence. Venus, wrapped in pale clouds, glows softly like a lantern behind a veil. Earth, blue and tender, turns beneath a thin haze of cloud, the only place we know where oceans sway and living things breathe. If you listen closely, you might almost hear the distant hum of a world teeming with life. Then Mars appears, rust-colored, calm, a desert world bathed in faint sunlight. Beyond it, the giant planets move slowly, their swirling storms softened, as if viewed through frosted glass. Jupiter, a vast marble of storms and bands, turns with dignity. Saturn glides past with its rings, stretched out like delicate wings of ice. Uranus and Neptune, cool, quiet spheres, drift at the edge of the sun's reach, each one moving at its own pace, in a cosmic dance that has continued for more than 4 billion years. Yet even here, surrounded by planets and moons, we have not truly reached the edge of our home. We continue outward, slowly, comfortably, as if floating on a gentle tide, where the sunlight grows thinner, where warmth fades into something like memory. There lies a border made not of walls, but of distance, the Kuiper Belt, a drifting field of icy worlds and quiet fragments, leftovers from the early days of the solar system. They turn slowly, glinting softly in the far-off sunlight, like distant beads of frozen glass. You drift through them, without touching anything, moving in silence, as they continue their patient orbits. And farther still, past even these lonely wanderers, a faint haze seems to surround everything. Not quite clouds, not quite emptiness, a soft, imagined margin, where our stars' embrace finally loosens. This is where the solar system begins to fade, into the great ocean of interstellar space, a place called the heliopause, the boundary where the sun's breath no longer pushes back the winds of the galaxy. Even here, the transition is gentle, like stepping from warm water into cool air. You drift through it, without any sensation of crossing a line, just a feeling that the sun behind you is a little smaller now, a little quieter, but still glowing, like a warm memory you can carry with you. Here, the solar system becomes a tiny island of light in a vast, dark sea. The sun, your only lighthouse until now, shrinks to the size of a distant coin, still golden, still steady. This is where our perspective changes. This is where the universe begins to show us the true scale of our cosmic neighborhood. As your viewpoint drifts outward, the sun is no longer the center, just one star among many, a small lantern in an endless field of lanterns. But the space between them is immense. If you look around, you won't see a crowded sky. You'll see wide, spacious darkness, punctuated by delicate points of light. Stars separated by distances, so great that even light itself must travel years just to bridge the gap. Here, you start to understand why the stars seem so still from Earth. They are so far away that even their movement is swallowed by distance. And yet, despite this vastness, there is a kind of neighborhood here, a gathering of stars that share space with the sun. In this quiet corner of the Milky Way, astronomers call it the local stellar neighborhood. But tonight, for our purposes, we can think of it more simply: the sun's cosmic street, the small cluster of stars closest to us. In the great galactic city, it isn't a crowded street. It isn't busy. It doesn't glow with noise or movement. Imagine instead a quiet rural night where houses are far apart, each with a single warm light in the window. The distances are great, but the silence connects everything. That is what this region of space feels like. A few bright stars, living near ours, each with their own stories, their own histories, their own families of planets and dust. In the vastness of the galaxy, they are the ones we can almost call neighbors. Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri, Barnard's star, Sirius, Ross 128, and a handful more. Not many, but enough to make this part of space feel quietly, gently inhabited. As you drift farther from the sun, the stars around you become a little clearer, not closer, but more distinguishable, like dots on a map, slowly coming into focus. You begin to sense a pattern, not of lines or boundaries, but of soft proximity. Some stars seem faint and red, others white and sharp, others blue like a whisper of ice. Each of them is a sun in its own right, each with planets, with dust, with stories written in ancient light. Here, outside the reach of the solar system, the sun feels smaller, yet somehow more precious. A reminder that even in the emptiness, there is warmth behind you and possibilities ahead. As you continue drifting outward, you may feel the scale of it begin to shift again, your mind adjusting effortlessly to a new kind of spaciousness. There is no rush, no push forward. The stars do not approach. They simply remain, patiently glowing. As you slide through the dark, you are drifting now between worlds that few humans have ever truly imagined. From the inside, behind you, the sun twinkles faintly, the way other stars do from Earth. Ahead of you, the nearest suns begin to gather in the dark, like distant campfires. Soon, we will visit them. Soon, we will glide softly toward the Alpha Centauri system, home to the closest stars we know. But for now, simply drift. Let your breath slow. Let your body soften. Let the smallness of the sun and the vastness around you blend into a single feeling. A deep, quiet calm. You are floating through the local neighborhood of stars, and this gentle crossing is only the beginning. Chapter 2. What it means for a star to be close. As we drift farther from the sun, you may begin to notice something subtle, a spaciousness growing around you. The solar system is now behind us, a small glowing island, floating in a wide, dark ocean. And ahead, the stars appear scattered, like quiet lanterns, hanging in an endless night. To stand here, in the stillness between suns, is to encounter distance in a way that feels different from anything on Earth. On our world, distance is simple: meters, kilometers, miles. things measured by walking or wheels or wind. But here, in the calm of interstellar space, distance stretches far beyond the imagination we use for everyday life. To understand what close means among the stars, we must soften our sense of scale, let it expand slowly, like a deep breath, spreading through the chest. When astronomers speak of the nearest stars, they use a beautifully simple idea: the distance that light itself travels in 1 year. A light year. Just imagine that. Light. The fastest thing we know, moving at its effortless pace for an entire year, without stopping, without resting, without even slowing. And only then does it complete a journey of 1 light year. Even though this is a scientific definition, you don't need to think of it as a number. You can imagine it as a long, glowing thread, carried gently through the dark, unspooling year after year, until it reaches its destination. If you want, you can picture light as something soft, a drifting golden ribbon gliding through space, with no friction and no sound. The nearest stars to our sun are just a few of those gentle ribbons away. 4 ribbons, 5, 8. In a galaxy that contains hundreds of billions of stars, this tiny handful sits close enough that their light reaches us within a single human lifetime. That is what close means out here. Not next door, not across the street, but near enough that the universe's softest messenger, light, can travel between us in just a handful of years. In a cosmic sense, that makes these stars our neighbors. In a human sense, they are impossibly far, and yet, standing in the quiet between them, the perspective begins to shift, because distance in space doesn't feel like distance on Earth. Here, there are no roads, no mountains, no oceans to cross, just wide, open darkness that carries you gently, like a current in a silent sea. When you look toward the closest stars, they don't feel unreachable. They feel calm, patient, like distant fires waiting quietly across a long, dark plain. If you let yourself visualize it, you might see each nearby star as a warm, glowing hearth, so far away that you cannot feel its heat, but close enough that its light still reaches your eyes with grace and steadiness. Out here, close is not about touching, it's about connection, the way starlight travels from one island of warmth to another. As you drift deeper into this space, take a moment to imagine a kind of cosmic neighborhood map, not with harsh lines or grids, but with softly glowing points, floating in a great dark. Each point is a star, each glow is a distant sun, and the sun, our sun, sits among them as one small lantern in a wide, quiet field. Nearby, but not too close, other lanterns shimmer: Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri, Barnard's star, Wolf 359, Lalande 21185, Sirius, Ross 128. You don't need to remember their names. Just let them float by, like gentle notes in a slow piece of music. Some shine bright white, some glow in cool red, others flicker softly, barely touching the darkness around them. But they all share something in common. They are the stars closest to us in the entire Milky Way. Imagine them spread around you, like lights scattered across a tranquil plain, not crowded, just present, just quietly being. When you turn your gaze toward one of these stars, your eyes follow a path of emptiness, years and years of dark, unbroken, until that star's light reaches you. Yet in that emptiness, there is peace. There is room to breathe, room for silence to stretch without ending. If you listen closely, you might feel as though you're floating along that path of light, traveling with it as it moves slowly, steadily, year after year, through the quiet of space. Let the idea sink in for a moment. The light you see from these stars began its journey before this moment, before this day, before many of your recent memories. Some of the starlight left its home star years ago and has been traveling ever since, calmly, patiently, to reach you now. This is what close means in the language of the universe. Not quick, not convenient, but connected, in a way that is gentle and almost timeless. As you float through the dark, you may feel a subtle shift inside you, a widening of perspective, a softening of boundaries. The distance between the stars no longer feels like a barrier. It feels like a quiet space that invites slow movement and restful thought. You might begin to sense how the sun and its neighbors coexist in a shared pool of galactic space, each glowing softly, each sending out light that drifts across the same ocean of night. In a way, this region of the galaxy is like a small community where no one rushes, no one crowds, and no one interrupts the silence. The nearest stars are far enough to give each other space, yet close enough that their light flows gracefully between them, like messages carried on a breeze. If you picture this neighborhood from above, as if rising far beyond the plane of the galaxy, you might see the sun, surrounded by a scattering of tiny lights, each one a quiet companion in the vastness. Not dozens, not hundreds, just a modest handful, enough to remind you that even in the deep, wide, dark, we are not entirely alone. And perhaps you can imagine the space between these stars as something soft, a velvet darkness that cradles every orbit, every beam of light, every drifting molecule. This darkness is not empty. It is full of possibility, full of time, full of quiet. As you drift through it, your sense of distance begins to change. You no longer think in kilometers or miles. You feel instead the slow unfolding of space, a gentle, endless stretch, where movement has no resistance and time has no hurry. You may even sense that you yourself are becoming lighter, less tied to the idea of distance as something difficult. The stars surround you, like lanterns placed far apart, on a peaceful hillside, each one lighting its own small circle of the night. And now, slowly, one of those lanterns begins to draw your attention, not because it is bright, but because it is close. The nearest star to our sun, a red dwarf, glowing softly in the dark, Proxima Centauri. In the next chapter, we will drift toward it, and toward its siblings, Alpha Centauri, A and B, a family of suns, living quietly in the dark. But for now, to stay here in this moment, feel the vastness around you, feel how gently the stars glow, feel how slowly light travels, and yet how faithfully it reaches its destination. This is what close means, in the language of the cosmos, a connection carried across years of silence, arriving softly, like starlight touching your eyes, as you float through the night. Chapter 3. The Alpha Centauri System. As you drift through the quiet dark, your attention begins to draw gently toward a pair of lights ahead. Two small suns glowing Like warm embers floating in space, they do not shimmer sharply, like some distant stars. They glow with a steadiness that feels ancient, familiar, almost comforting. This is the Alpha Centauri system, the closest family of stars to our own sun. And tonight, we approach them, not as distant objects of study, but as neighbors, as gentle companions, living quietly across the cosmic field. Take a slow breath as we move closer. Let yourself imagine the space around you softening, darkness turning velvety, your body sinking deeper into the rhythm of the journey. The first light we meet is Alpha Centauri A. It shines with a warm, golden glow, slightly brighter than the sun, but not harsh, not overwhelming, more like a lantern hanging above a quiet path, a light that guides rather than demands. If you picture a hearth fire burning behind frosted glass, you might feel what Alpha Centauri A feels like, a calm, steady radiance, spreading gently through the dark. Drift a little closer. You can imagine its surface as a shimmering sea of soft, molten gold, its light rippling outwards in waves slower than breath. And just beside it, moving in a slow celestial dance, is Alpha Centauri B. Smaller, cooler, and glowing with a deeper amber hue, like the warmth of late afternoon sunlight, touching the wooden floor of a quiet room. Where Alpha Centauri A shines like a midday glow, B feels like dusk, soft, peaceful, the color of a candle's steady flame. These two stars orbit each other in a long, graceful ellipse, their paths intertwined over decades and centuries. They do not move quickly. Their dance is slow, almost meditative, a gentle turning that you could watch for a lifetime and still never see repeat. Exactly the same way. Imagine the space between them as a long stretch of soft light, two warm lanterns, connected by an invisible thread, and imagine their planets, if there are any, grazing softly through that shared glow, touching each star's warmth, in rhythms carved by millions of years. Now, as we continue drifting, let your awareness shift to something slightly further away, a faint glimmer, a tiny ember, glowing in the deep darkness, like a quiet secret. This is Proxima Centauri, the closest star to the Sun. It is a small red dwarf, its light muted, subtle, a deep ruby glow, rather than a bright flare, compared to the golden brilliance of Alpha Centauri A and B. Proxima feels almost shy, a soft whisper of starlight, nestled at the edge of the system. Yet there is a beauty to its quietness, a steady, patient glow that has burned for billions of years and will continue burning long after larger stars fade. As you drift toward Proxima, notice how the space grows darker, how the light softens, how everything feels slower, more restful. Proxima does not illuminate the dark the way our sun does, but it colors it, a gentle wash of red, blending into the stillness. Here, you might imagine its light touching the surface of a small, rocky planet. Proxima B, one of the most intriguing worlds in our cosmic neighborhood. We do not know what Proxima B truly looks like, but in this bedtime journey, we are free to imagine it softly, a world bathed in crimson twilight, where the star never becomes harsh, where the sky glows like the inside of a dim lantern, where time feels slower, the days long and leisurely. You might imagine the light brushing across mountains or seas, or quiet plains. Whatever your mind finds soothing, what matters is not the accuracy, but the feeling, a distant world, glowing faintly under a tiny red sun, a place that exists in the universe's gentle imagination. And here, floating beside Proxima, you may feel something unexpected. How small the sun feels from this distance, how delicate its light looks, compared to the stars it shares space with. Our sun is not dominant here. It is simply another point of light, another lantern in the cosmic night. This is one of the most peaceful insights the Alpha Centauri system offers. From far away, every star humbles itself. Every star becomes quiet. Every star becomes equal. No star imposes its brightness on another. No star overshadows its neighbors. Each holds its own space gently, sure of its place, confident in its warmth, but never loud. As you float among these three suns, A, B, and Proxima, notice how they form a kind of stellar family. Not a crowded one, not a noisy one, but a family bound by gravity, by time, by their slow, ancient motion through the galaxy. Alpha Centauri A and B offer warmth and golden light. Proxima offers quietness, a deep, red calm that wraps around you like a blanket of dusk. Together, they create a small, tranquil world within the vastness, a cosmic home away from home, you might imagine, floating gently between the three stars, each one illuminating you in a different shade of peace. Gold, amber, crimson, a soft cosmic sunset, stretching across millions of kilometers. If you listen deeply, you may feel a rhythm here, not a surface rhythm, not a sound, but a kind of cosmic heartbeat. The slow orbit of A and B, the distant drift of Proxima, the quiet hum of starlight flowing through the dark, and you gliding through it all, without effort, without weight. As the silence folds around you, let yourself rest in this moment. Let the light of these stars drift through you like warm breath. If any thoughts come, let them pass, like small comets, crossing your field of view, brief, harmless, and gone again. You are safe here, held by the calm harmony of an ancient trio of suns. And as you hover at the edge of this system, look once more toward Proxima, this small, quiet ember, glowing in the dark. Its light travels 4 years, just to touch your eyes on Earth. Here, you meet it face to face, slow, steady, unhurried. In this moment, Proxima is not just a star. It is a reminder that even the smallest lights can travel great distances, that even the faintest warmth can reach across emptiness, that quiet things still matter in the vastness. Take one last slow breath. The Alpha Centauri system rests behind you now, its 3 suns shimmering softly in the cosmic night, and ahead, other stars await, each with its own color, its own story, its own gentle glow. In the next chapter, we will drift past them. Barnard's star, Sirius, Ross 128, travelers in the night, whose light touches Earth with patient footsteps. But for now, let your body relax once more. Let the stars fade into the distance. Let the calm of this system linger in you, like the afterglow of a warm sunset. Your journey continues, slowly, peacefully, guided by starlight. Chapter 4, Barnard's Star, Sirius, Ross 128 and other neighbors. Leaving the Alpha Centauri system behind, you drift once more into the spacious quiet. Between the nearest suns, the darkness around you deepens, not in a frightening way, but in the way a soft blanket settles over a room at night. The stars ahead glow gently, each one a distant half, in an endless field of stillness. As the cosmic current carries you onward, the first light to approach is a small, deep red ember, Barnard's star. It moves so subtly that you would hardly notice from Earth, but among the nearby stars, Barnard's star drifts more quickly across the celestial background than almost any other. Yet here, in this dreamlike journey, its motion feels slow, steady, calm, like a leaf gliding over a quiet pond. Imagine its glow, not bright, not sharp, but warm and ancient, a low, red fire that has been burning for nearly as long as our galaxy has existed. Barnard's star is old, older than the sun, older than many of the stars that populate our neighborhood. As you drift toward it, its red light feels like the last embers of a bonfire, still radiating warmth long after the flames have settled. There is a tenderness in such endurance, a patience, a reminder that not all stars seek brilliance. Some choose longevity, quietness, a slow, measured glow that continues across billions of years. Let its warmth reach you, not hot, just a soft brush of color in the dark around you. As you move past Barnard's star, its red ember fades into the backdrop of night, and another light rises ahead. Not faint this time, but bright, brilliant, unmistakable. Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky of Earth. From a distance, Sirius shines with a crisp, white brilliance, a crystalline glow that feels both cold and pure. But here, approaching slowly, the light softens. It becomes a shimmering bloom, as if a snowflake, made entirely of starlight, were unfolding in the dark. Sirius is not a single star. It is a pair, Sirius A and Sirius B, orbiting each other in a long, elegant curve. Sirius A is the radiant one, pouring light into the surrounding void. Sirius B, hidden in the glare, is a tiny white dwarf, what remains of a once mighty star, now compressed into an object no larger than Earth. Even in its smallness, Sirius B carries immense history, a life lived in full, followed by a quiet collapse into a perfect sphere of memory. But tonight, their story does not feel heavy. Their dual light feels like two candles placed close together, one bright and steady, the other small and gentle. Imagine drifting between those two lights, white radiance on one side, soft, compressed glow on the other. As you continue your journey, without weight, without sound, let their combined brilliance wash lightly over you, like moonlight on snow. And then, as you begin to drift past Sirius, the brilliant light fades slowly, gentle as an exhale, until it becomes just another star in the distant tapestry. From the bright white of Sirius, the space ahead shifts into something softer. A dim red glow, calm and understated, comes into view. This is Ross 128, a quiet star, small and cool, with a reputation among astronomers for its peacefulness. Unlike many red dwarfs, which can flare suddenly with bursts of energy, Ross 128 is remarkably calm. Its light flickers, only in the slowest, most patient rhythms. If stars had temperaments, Ross 128 would be gentle, a star that avoids suddenness, preferring a steady, unhurried glow. Its red light is softer than Barnard's star, more muted, as if it were wrapped in a layer of cosmic silk. And like Proxima Centauri, Ross 128 is known to have a planet, a quiet world, that may orbit close enough to feel a slow, perpetual twilight. Imagine that world for a moment, dimly lit, bathed in the soft red glow of a calm sun, its skies tinted like the moments just after sunset. On Earth, not bright, not dark, just peaceful. But the truth of the planet doesn't matter here. Only the feeling does. The sense of drifting past a small, tranquil sun in a quiet corner of the galaxy. As Ross 128 fades behind you, you drift into a region where the stars appear, more scattered, more delicate, like seeds of light floating in a breeze. Among them are other neighbors, stars that rarely enter popular imagination, but glow in steady silence. All the same, Wolf 359, another red dwarf, deep and quiet, like a single coal, resting in a long-extinguished fire. Lalandi 21185, a soft red sun that has seen epochs pass, with a patience only stars possess. Epsilon Eridani, slightly brighter, a young, restless star, still settling into its long life. Though each of these suns has its own character, its own rhythm of light, you do not need to understand them fully. Let them drift by, like gentle notes, in a slow, soothing melody. Some shine bright, some glow faintly, some pulse slightly, as if breathing in the dark, but all of them belong to the same neighborhood, the cluster of stars closest to our sun, our companions, in this quiet corner of the Milky Way. When viewed from Earth, these stars look small and unmoving, tiny specks pinned to the night sky. But from here, floating among them, they feel alive. They feel like quiet travelers, sharing a long journey through space. Each star has drifted for billions of years. Each has carried its own warmth, its own planets, its own dust and stories through the silent sea of the galaxy. And you, moving between them, become part of their quiet dance, a slow, drifting observer in a space that has never known hurry. If you take a moment now to breathe in deeply, you may feel the weightlessness of this region, how open it feels, how unhurried, how gently connected. The nearest stars do not crowd each other. They do not rush. They do not compete. They shine in patient companionship, each one holding its own space with grace. In this chapter of your journey, you have drifted past the brightest star in our sky, some of the calmest red dwarfs, and some of the oldest suns near the solar system, each one different, each one steady, each one glowing quietly in the vastness. As you look back, their lights fade into the dark around you, never gone, just distant again. And ahead, the space begins to widen further until the stars seem sparse, like lanterns placed even farther apart. This gradual shift is not a sign of emptiness. It is a sign of transition from the intimate cluster of the sun's neighbors to the greater body of the Milky Way. In the next chapter, we will begin to explore why so many of our nearest stars are red dwarfs, quiet, dim, and long-lived suns that fill the galaxy with soft, steady light. But for now, let the memory of these neighbors, Barnard's warm ember, Sirius's crystalline glow, Ross 128's calm red lantern, settle around you. Like a constellation of peaceful thoughts, breathe slowly. Let the stars drift behind you. Let the silence deepen. Your journey continues through the gentle darkness, guided always by the soft glow of nearby suns. Chapter 5. The Quiet Lives of Red Dwarf Stars. As you continue drifting through the quiet between the nearest stars, you may notice a pattern beginning to emerge, a soft truth whispered by the universe. In the calm language of light, most of the suns around you are not brilliant white like Sirius, nor golden like our sun, nor twin lanterns like Alpha Centauri A and B. No, most of them glow in red, deep, muted, steady red, like embers resting in the hearth, long after the fire has dimmed. These are red dwarf stars, the most common stars in the entire Milky Way, and yet the quietest, the most easily overlooked from our bright world on Earth. Tonight, we will drift into their company, not to study them, but to feel their presence, their slowness, their patience, their ancient glow. Take a gentle breath in and let the darkness soften around you as we move closer to one of these small, enduring suns. A gentle ember in the dark. Imagine a star no larger than Jupiter, a sphere of glowing red warmth, barely bright enough to notice. From across the galaxy, its surface is not blazing with harsh, white-hot fire. Instead, it glows faintly, as if someone had taken starlight and wrapped it in layer after layer of soft crimson cloth. A red dwarf does not demand attention. It does not shout into the night. It radiates a subtle warmth, like the last light of sunset, lingering on the horizon, long after the day has ended. You drift near one now, a small, calm star, floating in the vastness, like a tiny ember, suspended in space. The closer you come, the more you feel an unexpected comfort, as though the star is not trying to push you back with heat, but inviting you in with its gentle glow. Unlike larger stars, red dwarfs burn their fuel, slowly, patiently, stretching their lives. Over trillions of years, they are the quiet elders of the galaxy, their flames never rushing, never flaring too brightly, never exhausting themselves in haste. If the universe were a great library, red dwarfs would be the old wooden lamps that have burned for ages, without ever going out. A life lived slowly. Because they are small, red dwarfs do not burn fiercely. Their light is dim, their warmth subtle, their temperament calm. Their low energy means they shine gently, not brilliantly. They sip their fuel, rather than consuming it in gulps. Our sun, in comparison, is like a bonfire, beautiful, but destined to burn out. In the cosmic blink of time, a red dwarf is like a coal that remains warm. Through an endless night, their lives stretch so long that no red dwarf in the entire universe has ever reached the end of its life. Not one. not in 13.8 billion years. It is as if these small stars have found the secret to cosmic longevity, a way to burn without ever truly fading. As you drift beside one, you may feel the serenity of such endurance, a kind of cosmic stillness that comes from existing without hurry. There is something soothing in a star that does not rush to live or die, something restful in a sun that shines with the patience of eternity, worlds in the quiet glow. Many red dwarfs harbor planets, small, rocky worlds that orbit close to their gentle warmth. Imagine one of these planets now, not as a place to analyze or map, but as a mood, a feeling, a world where the sky glows in shades of soft red and purple, where daylight never becomes harsh, where shadows stretch long and slow. A world warmed, not by a blazing sun, but by a steady ember glowing overhead. For life, if it exists there, time would feel different. Days would pass like slow tides. Years would unfold like the turning of seasons on a world that never rushes. Even if no life exists at all, there is peace in imagining it. A planet wrapped in twilight, drifting in a slow dance around its ancient star, the universe's quiet majority. As you drift farther, more red dwarfs appear, dozens, hundreds, like scattered embers, glowing faintly across the night. From Earth, most of these stars are invisible to our eyes, but here, floating among them, you can sense how many there truly are. The galaxy is not illuminated by bright white stars. It is warmed by these countless red suns. The quiet majority, the gentle backbone holding the Milky Way together. There is comfort in knowing that the universe is not made only of brilliance and spectacle, but of calm, steady glow. In the presence of red dwarfs, brightness feels optional, loudness feels unnecessary, longevity feels natural. If the galaxy had a heartbeat, it might sound like this, a slow, rhythmic pulse, echoing through trillions of years. Patience as a stellar virtue. The longer you drift among these crimson lights, the more they begin to feel like symbols of patience. They remind you that not everything in the universe moves fast or burns bright. There is beauty in slowness, strength in subtlety, a kind of wisdom in lasting quietly rather than shining fiercely. Because red dwarfs live for trillions of years, they will be the last stars to light the universe. Long after the bright suns fade, long after galaxies change shape, long after cosmic dust settles, these small stars will continue shining like embers left behind. After the fire has burned down, they are the universe's promise that light does not need to be loud to endure. They are reminders that small things can outlast vast things, that softness can outlast brilliance, that calmness can outlast chaos. Let that thought settle quietly within you, drifting through a field of embers. Now imagine yourself drifting through a region filled with dozens of red dwarfs, a field of small embers scattered across the cosmic night. Each one glows softly. Each one has its own planets, its own dust rings, its own gravity sculpting space, yet none of them feel aggressive. None feel overwhelming. They glow with a steady kindness. As you move, their light falls over you in soft waves, faint red, faint orange, faint rose. The darkness between them feels warmer now, as if the space itself is infused with their patience. You drift without hurry, without effort, held by the calmness of these slow-burning suns. For a moment, you might forget that time exists at all. A star that burns like breath. Among the many red dwarfs around you, one glows a little brighter, still dim by stellar standards, but with a presence that feels somehow closer. Let yourself draw near. As you approach, you sense its rhythm, a slow breathing of light, unrushed, unfaltering. If you imagine a candle flame in a still room, barely flickering, you may begin to feel the essence of this star. It is constant, without being forceful. It warms, without overwhelming. It shines, without demanding attention. In this way, a red dwarf mirrors a restful human breath, steady, quiet, continuing, without thought. As you float beside it, you may feel your own breath slowing to match its rhythm, soft in, soft out, a star's version of serenity, leaving the quiet glow behind. Eventually, you begin drifting once more, and the red dwarf's glow fades gently behind you, but its calmness remains, a feeling, a warmth, a lesson in patience, carried quietly forward. Ahead of you, the darkness deepens again, opening like a soft curtain to reveal the larger structure of our galaxy. Soon, we will drift back from these small, quiet suns to view the Milky Way as a whole, its arms of light, its swirling stars, its immense, gentle motion. But for now, let the glow of the red dwarfs settle over you like warm twilight. Let yourself rest in the idea of stars that endure, stars that glow gently, stars that never hurry. Because in the language of these ancient suns, the universe is not a place of rush or urgency. It is a place of patience, of slowness, of long, soft burning light, and you, drifting peacefully among them, become part of that calm. Chapter 6. Our place in the Milky Way. As the red dwarfs fade behind you, their soft embers dissolving into the velvet dark, a new sense of space begins to rise. A space not defined by a single star or a handful of neighbors, but by something far larger, far more ancient, and far more breathtaking. The Milky Way. Not just a home for the sun, not just a stage for planets and comets and drifting clouds of dust, but an entire galactic ocean spiraling gracefully in the silence of the universe. Tonight, we drift back far enough to see this ocean's shape, its arms, its currents, its slow rotation that has continued for billions of years. Take a soft breath in and let your awareness expand, slowly, gently. As we begin this wider view, the galaxy begins to open. At first, you still feel close to the familiar neighborhood, the sun and its companions, the warm lanterns. We've passed one by one, but then, as you drift back farther, those lanterns cluster into a pattern, a faint glitter against a darker canvas. The individual stars you visited so closely now seem to gather around the sun, like fireflies orbiting a candle. They form no rigid lines, no clear boundaries, just a soft, natural arrangement, shaped by gravity and the deep quiet of space. And as you drift even farther, the view begins to widen. into something almost impossible. To imagine from Earth, the local bubble, a vast region of gas and dust, carved gently over millions of years by the births and deaths of ancient stars. You don't need to visualize the details. Just imagine a wide, empty basin in the galactic sea, a pocket of space where starlight travels easily and darkness rests lightly. The sun lives inside this basin, together with its nearest neighbors. It is our cosmic neighborhood, our small district, in a city of hundreds of billions of lights. But we have not yet seen the city itself. For that, we drift farther still. The spiral appears. As the distance increases, something beautiful begins to reveal itself, slowly, like a great flower unfurling beneath your gaze. A soft, luminous arc, faint at first, then brighter, then unmistakable. Another arc joins it, and another, sweeping outward in a graceful spiral. You are beginning to see the Milky Way from the outside, its curving arms, made of countless stars, each one glowing softly, like grains of dust, caught in a beam of light. There is no sound, no motion you can feel, yet the galaxy turns. Slowly, deliberately, a great cosmic wheel, rotating with the calm certainty of something ancient and serene. Imagine the Milky Way as a river of stars, a pale, winding current, flowing across the dark. Our sun is not at the center. It lives far from the bright core, in one of the galaxy's quieter places, the Orion Arm, a small side path in the much larger spiral. Some call it the Orion Spur, as if it were a small scenic detour on the way to much grander places. But tonight, we do not speak of grandness. We speak of calm, and the Orion Arm is one of the calmest regions in the entire galaxy. It is not crowded. It is not chaotic. It is not dense with stars, like the central bulge, or the busy, sweeping arcs near the galactic bar. It is slower here, quieter, better suited for life, better suited for drifting. Perhaps that is why our sun settled here. Perhaps that is why your journey through the stars feels so peaceful, our home from afar. As you float even farther away, the Milky Way becomes clearer still, a glowing pinwheel, spinning gently in the dark. From this distance, the nearest stars, the sun, the planets, and even the entire solar system become too small to see. And yet, you know they are there, a tiny spark inside one thin ribbon of the spiral. Our whole world, our history, our oceans and mountains, and everything we know, all of it exists on a speck within a band of stars, like grains of sand caught in a vast tidal swirl. But there is no insignificance here, only wonder, only the soft realization that we are part of something immeasurably beautiful. You drift above the Milky Way now, as though floating above a great, luminous cloud, its spiral arms stretching like gentle brushstrokes across a dark canvas. Each arm glows with the combined light of countless suns, some brilliant, some quiet, some long gone, some not yet born. And somewhere in that vast river of light, our sun drifts peacefully through the Orion Arm, unhurried, unconcerned, turning slowly around the galactic center. It takes more than 200 million years for the sun to complete a single orbit. But tonight, we do not measure years. We measure calm, and the sun's slow journey becomes a reminder that not everything in life must move quickly. The quiet architecture, of the Milky Way. Now let us drift around the galaxy's edge, slowly enough to notice its quiet architecture. The bright central bulge, a warm, glowing heart made of old stars, shining in deep gold. The spiral arms, soft, silver, blue arcs, filled with younger suns, clusters, and drifting clouds of gas. The dark lanes of dust, not empty, but filled with potential, like soil waiting to give rise to new stars in the distant future. Moving past these features, you feel the galaxy's balance, a harmony between glowing light and restful darkness. At this scale, the Milky Way becomes a living sculpture of stars and shadow, a cosmic breath frozen in time. It is delicate, it is immense, it is steady, like a great organism, moving without haste, without intention, simply existing, as it has for billions of years. And somehow, this immense stillness makes the emptiness feel gentle. The sun's quiet journey. You begin drifting closer again, not into the Orion arm itself, but into a perspective where the sun becomes visible as one dim point among many. If you were to trace its path, you would see a long, slow curve around the galactic core. It does not rush, it does not wobble, it glides on a smooth arc, guided by gravity and time. And you may notice something calming. In that slow orbit, the sun is never alone. As it moves, the nearest stars move with it, not as companions in a strict sense, but as fellow travelers, sharing the same galactic current. Like boats drifting along a quiet river, they remain near one another for millions of years. This gives our region of space a sense of stability, a gentle balance, in which stars rarely collide or disrupt. The galaxy, in all its scale, provides a quiet lane for the sun to follow, and Earth, carried by the sun's gravity, follows along, a small blue lantern tucked gently inside this immense, spiraling home. Our smallness, reimagined. From this perspective, it might seem tempting to feel small, to feel that our world is only a tiny point of light in a vast and ancient structure. But smallness, in cosmic terms, is not insignificance. A grain of sand still holds its warmth under the sunlight. A drop of water still reflects the sky, and Earth, with its oceans, its forests, its people, its dreams, is a miracle, regardless of how tiny it appears from afar. In the Milky Way, every star matters, every planet matters, every atom, every breath, every flicker of consciousness adds its own quiet glow to the universe. You are part of that glow, part of that starlight, part of that cosmic tapestry. And as you drift near the galaxy now, you may feel a peaceful sense of belonging, not because you are large, but because you are connected. A view before we return, before drifting back toward the sun's neighborhood. Take a final moment to absorb the beauty, the soft spirals of light curling through the dark, the faint haze of stars, too distant to see individually, yet glowing together, like mist in moonlight. The dark lanes of dust carved through the spirals, like deep shadows between luminous waves. The quiet rotation, so slow that only patience can trace its shape. And there, nearly invisible, is a tiny spark in one of the arms, the sun carrying with it the warmth of home, your home. your world, your place, in all this immensity. And despite the scale, despite the vastness, the feeling is not overwhelming, it is peaceful. The Milky Way does not demand understanding. It does not ask for awe. It simply is, turning gently in the quiet dark. And now, with one slow, drifting breath, you begin to move back inward, toward the sun, toward the familiar stars, toward the calm currents that shape your local cosmic sea. The galaxy fades softly behind you as you return to the quiet lane where the sun lives. Ahead lies the gentle descent back toward yourself, the easing of thoughts, the slowing of breath, the deepening of rest. But first, in the next chapter, we will begin to fall gently back into the immediate neighborhood, slowing down, settling, coming home. For now, drift and let the Milky Way hold you in its quiet, spiral embrace. Chapter 7. Returning home, slowing down. As the grand spiral of the Milky Way softens behind you, its luminous arms dissolving into a faint, distant haze, a familiar feeling begins to emerge. A feeling of moving inward, of coming home, of letting go. You are still drifting through the quiet of space, but something subtle has shifted. The vastness no longer expands around you. It draws you gently inward, like a tide returning to shore. There is no urgency, only a slow, patient motion, guiding you back toward the small cluster of stars that form our neighborhood, your neighborhood. With each breath, you feel yourself moving, not quickly, not noticeably, but softly, as if gliding through a dream, where direction and effort blend into a single, fluid ease. Let that feeling deepen. Let the shift from outward exploration to inward settling unfold naturally within you. A transition from movement to rest, from curiosity to calm, from the infinite to the intimate. A familiar star in the distance. Ahead of you now, barely visible at first, a small point of golden light appears. Faint, delicate, shimmering softly in the dark. Our sun. From this distance, it does not blaze. It does not dominate. It glows gently, quietly, like the warm memory of a candle seen across a long hallway. It feels less like a star and more like a guiding lantern, a reminder that even in the deepest stretches of space, there is a place that belongs to you. As you drift closer, the sun grows brighter, but not harsh. It expands gradually, its glow becoming a soft halo of gold, spreading across the velvet dark. This is the same sun that warms your world, that paints morning skies blue and evening clouds red, that pulls oceans into their tides and nourishes life in a million forms. But from here, the sun is peaceful, unhurried, a warm pulse in the quiet. If you let yourself imagine it, you can feel that warmth reaching out to you now, subtle like the touch of a hand, resting lightly on your shoulder. It does not pull you, it welcomes you, passing through familiar stars once more. As you approach the solar system, the nearby stars begin to settle into positions that look familiar. Barnard's star fades off to one side, still glowing faintly red, still drifting in its ancient motion. Sirius rests in the far distance, still bright, still crystalline, but quieter now as you face toward home. Alpha Centauri's twin lights grow dimmer behind you, warm memories, rather than destinations. Proxima's soft red ember shrinks gradually, like a memory dissolving into sleep. The stars you visited, the suns you drifted past, all remain where they are, patient, unchanging. But your motion carries you inward now, not away from them, but toward yourself, toward rest, toward the body lying still, toward the breath that flows steadily, like a tide within you. Slowing the breath, let your breath soften now, gently, without effort. Feel the inhale arrive like a wave, rolling quietly onto the shore. Feel the exhale drift away, like that same wave, sliding back into the ocean. There is nothing to do, just breathe, just drift, just rest. Every breath you take brings you closer to your own center. Every exhale lets go of something you no longer need. A thought, a weight, a tension that has served its purpose and can now dissolve into the quiet. You are returning, not only through space, but through your own inner landscape, falling gently into deeper comfort, crossing the boundary of home. Ahead of you now is a faint, spherical boundary, not a wall, not a barrier, but a subtle shift in space. The heliopause, the place where the sun's presence, its breath, its gentle push against the galaxy, begins to take hold. When you entered this region, earlier in your journey, you crossed it without feeling it. And now, as you return, you cross it again, with the same softness. No sound, no shift, no sensation, just a gentle knowing that you are once again within the sun's quiet protection. It feels like stepping inside a warm room after being out in the cool night air. Nothing dramatic, just comfort, just familiarity, just home. The solar system unfolds again. As you drift deeper inside, the solar system opens around you like a peaceful memory, the far-off shimmer of icy worlds. In the Kuiper belt, glinting softly, in the sun's distant glow. Then the gas giants, cool, massive, moving with slow dignity. Saturn's rings, spread out like delicate ripples in still water. Jupiter's storms turn silently beneath a soft blanket of cloud. And then the inner worlds, Mars, quiet and red, Earth, blue and living, Venus, veiled in soft brightness, Mercury, close to the sun's warmth. They appear more slowly this time, softer, as if the universe itself understands that you are returning, in a state of deeper calm. The planets do not rush by. They drift with you, like companions, walking a familiar path together. Feel the space around you slow. Feel your mind slow. Feel your breath slow. Your journey is no longer outward. It is inward, downward, toward rest. The sun as a symbol of stillness. As you come closer to the sun, its golden light grows fuller, but not intense. From this gentle vantage, the sun is soft, rounded, almost sleepy. Its warmth is not a force, it is an embrace. Its light is not a command, it is an invitation. This is how the sun truly feels when imagined without urgency, a constant, quiet presence that asks nothing and gives everything, just as your breath asks nothing and gives calm. Just as your heartbeat works quietly, without asking for attention. The sun does not demand praise. It does not need to shine brightly to be significant. It simply exists, in peaceful radiance, the way you exist, in this moment, calm, present, held by stillness. The descent toward yourself. As the solar system gathers around you, you begin to sense the deepest purpose of this chapter. Not just returning to the sun, not just returning to Earth, but returning to the quiet place within yourself, the place where thought slows, the place where breath eases, the place where awareness softens into rest. You drift now, like a leaf falling gently through still air. The stars are above you, the planets are around you, the sun is behind you, and ahead, somewhere small and quiet, is your body, resting in the place where you began this journey. Imagine descending toward it, not quickly, not sharply, but slowly, like lowering yourself into warm water. Feel your awareness sink softly inward. No force, no resistance, just gravity's gentle pull, guiding you back to your own center. Your muscles loosen, your breath lengthens, your thoughts soften into a quiet hum. This is the beginning of true rest. Settling in the quiet lane of the galaxy. Before the chapter closes, take one last moment to imagine yourself not as a traveler in space, but as something the galaxy carries gently through its arms. You are part of this slow spiral, part of this river of stars, part of this ancient motion that has no beginning and no urgency. The galaxy moves slowly, and you, held within it, can move slowly too. Let that slowness become your slowness. Let the galaxy's peace become your peace. Let the stars' patience become your patience. You are returning home, not only from a journey across space, but from a day of thoughts, worries, and movement. You are drifting down, down, into the tranquil center of your own presence. Nothing to change, nothing to finish, nothing to understand. Just rest, just breath, just stillness, just home. Chapter 8. Sleep-inducing cosmic closure. You are drifting now, in the quietest part of your journey, a place between stars, between breaths, between waking and dreaming. Behind you lies the Milky Way's grand spiral, the red dwarfs glowing like quiet embers, the bright lanterns of Sirius and Alpha Centauri, the long cosmic road that carried you outward and gently back again. Ahead of you is only softness, only the slow return to the small, peaceful world where your body rests, and inside that body, a calm that has been growing through every chapter, every breath, every moment of drifting among the stars. Take a slow inhale now, as soft as you can, and an even slower exhale, letting your body settle a little deeper. There is no journey left to make. You have arrived at the threshold of rest. Starlight within you. As you drift gently, imagine all the stars you've visited. The gold of Alpha Centauri A, the ember red of Proxima, the white brilliance of Sirius, the deep glow of Ross 128, gathering softly around you, not close, not overwhelming, just present, just watching over you, the way distant lights watch over a quiet harbor. And imagine something deeper still, that the atoms in your body, the ones in your breath, your bones, your blood, your heart, were forged long ago in the cores of stars, just like these. Their light lives in you. Their history moves in you. You carry the universe without ever needing to try. This truth is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is quiet, gentle, soothing. You are part of the same story as every star you have drifted past tonight. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are composed of it, woven from its elements, shaped from its matter, guided by its laws, in ways so subtle you do not need to notice them. Let that thought wrap around you like a warm, cosmic blanket. You are starlight, resting in human form, and now that starlight is ready to dim gently into sleep, the descent into quiet. As you drift inward, the universe begins to soften, not fade, not disappear, but become lighter, more dreamlike. The stars retreat into distant glimmers. The sun becomes a warm glow behind the curtains of your closing thoughts. The planets become faint memories of a story told long ago, and you begin to feel yourself descending into the deepest part of rest. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to adjust, nothing to accomplish. Your awareness is like a feather now, suspended, weightless, ready to settle wherever comfort takes it. Let it drift, let it sink, let it fade gently, like stardust, falling through water, returning to earth without motion. Even though your mind has traveled across the galaxy, your body has been here the whole time, resting, breathing, safe. And now, as your consciousness returns, you do not feel a jolt. There is no impact, no landing, no abrupt transition. Instead, you feel yourself slip back into your body, the way moonlight slips across still water, quietly, effortlessly, almost invisibly. Your muscles loosen, one by one. Your chest rises and falls with soft, slow rhythm. Your eyelids grow heavier than planets. You are not arriving from a journey. You are blending with your place of rest, your bed, your breath, your being. The cosmos outside and the cosmos within become the same. A universe going to sleep with you. Imagine, for a moment, that the universe around you is falling asleep too. The stars dim slightly. The galaxies drift into softer hues. The cosmic winds quieten into a hush. Even the great spirals of the Milky Way turn more slowly, as though they are sinking into a stillness that mirrors your own. You are not alone in your descent into rest. The entire universe is settling with you, a synchronized exhale, shared across light years. When you fall asleep, you join that calm, becoming one more quiet point of light in the great cosmic night, the last steps into sleep. You may notice now that your thoughts are becoming lighter, subtler, less shaped. Images drift through your mind like distant comets, leaving soft trails. Memories blend with imagined places, twilight landscapes, warm starfields, soft colors blooming without form. This is the threshold. There is no need to resist it. There is no need to hold yourself awake. You have traveled far enough. You have drifted long enough. You have softened deeply enough. Let the remaining threads of awareness loosen in your hands. Let the last edges of thought dissolve like grains of dust in the cosmic tide. Let yourself go. The universe holds you. As you sink more deeply, picture yourself nestled inside a cradle of soft starlight. Not bright, not vivid, just warm. A cradle formed from the glow of every star you visited tonight. A cradle where your breath floats, your thoughts dim, your body settles, your dreams begin. You are safe here. You are held. You are resting in the arms of the cosmos itself. Nothing can reach you. Nothing can disturb you. Nothing can hurry you. You are protected by the quiet, infinite gentleness of space. Closing thoughts, fading into silence. If any thought comes now that feels too sharp, too heavy, too awake, imagine placing it into a small boat and letting it drift into the calm, dark water of the universe. Watch it go without effort, without attachment, until it fades completely into the night. Your mind is clear, your breath is slow, your body is heavy with comfort. The journey is complete. The stars have guided you home. The universe has dimmed its lights for you, and now you may sleep deeply, softly, peacefully, like starlight fading into dawn, like a galaxy resting in the dark, like a traveler who has reached the quietest place in all the cosmos, the space within yourself. Good night, and may the stars hold your dreams gently.